Okay, so in number 73, it tells me that a car company issues a recall for a model. For every 1,000 cars, the company estimates that after T weeks, F of T, which is 1,000 times the quantity 1 minus 2 to the minus T over 5, whatever, some formula, right, have received repairs. For A is 5 and B is 10, evaluate the quantity F of B minus F of A over the quantity B minus A. What does this tell you about the recall? Okay, so first things first, some of this should be vaguely approachable. What should I try to do first? Okay, take A and B, which are going to be what category of thing? Yeah, those are going to be inputs, and inputs are T's, right? T's are, what does it say on the thing? T weeks. Yeah, so those are going to be 5 weeks and 10 weeks, respectively. You guys see that? Okay, so you're going to take those guys and plug them in there, right? Yeah. So F of 10 is going to be 1,000 times
times 1 minus 2.
1 minus 2 raised to the negative 10 over 5 is 10 over 5 is 2, so I got negative 2, which is 1,000 times
1 minus 1.
1 minus 1 quarter. You guys remember exponent rules that well?
Yeah. No, 1 minus 1 quarter because it's negative.
Not you guys. I know you guys remember exponent rules. Do the rest of you remember exponent rules that well, or do you want to see that? Okay. So I have 2 to the minus 2 power, right? So that's 1 minus, and then the 2 to the minus 2 is in the wrong side of its kind of fraction, right? Maybe I'll like put a 1 down here.
And then do 1 minus 1 is it?
So I think 1 over 2 to the 2. Right, the negative exponent kicks that thing into the bottom of the fraction it's in. And then I've got 2 squared, which is 4. So I have all told here, this guy's 1 minus a quarter, which is 3 quarters. And then I'm multiplying by 1,000, so what's 3 quarters of 1,000? 700. Cool. All right, how about what's F of 5? Oh, actually, what does that number mean?
Is that 750 cars?
That's the number of cars.
750 cars have been repaired after 10 weeks.
That's 750 cars per 1,000 cars, right? Have been fixed at 10 weeks. Good with that? Does the per 1,000 make sense? That was kind of built into the formula they were asking about.
Yeah, so then we have to find F of 5.
Okay, so F of 5 is
1,000.
1,000 again, times 1 minus 2
Ooh, so that'll be easy. So it's just negative 1.
to the negative 1, which is
1/2.
a half. So this is going to be
It's going to be 500?
500.
Yeah.
Well, you mean like half of it, and 5 is half of 10?
No. Never mind.
500 is half of 1,000.
500 is half of 1,000, I think, might be. Yeah. So this is 500 cars per 1,000 cars. Right, 50% have been fixed. At 5 weeks. You guys all with that? Okay, now what about f of b minus f of a over b minus a?
750 750 minus 500
Okay, so this guy is 750 minus 500
divided by 10 minus 5.
divided by 10 minus 5.
So
And that is going to be a,
that's 250 divided by 5.
that's 250 cars per 1,000 cars
Divided by 5 weeks.
in 5 weeks. What does that mean?
That's 5 weeks, you have 250 cars.
That means in those 5 weeks, you're going to have 250 cars to repair, right? Or every week, you're going to do 50 of these, right? Between the weeks of 5 and 10 weeks. Not necessarily always, right? And probably it's going to be heavier towards the front and slacker towards the back, right? Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Like just model aside, like forget this function. Would that make sense to you? That if a car company issues a recall, that they're going to have more cars come in the first week than they are the 9th week?
Sure.
Why?
Because you're going to have more people.
Don't want.
Yeah, because people want their shit fixed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They want like, I want my car fixed, it's going to explode. Like fix it, now. Right? And the guy who waits 5 weeks, like, he or she's not going to really care if it, you know, if you've already waited 5 weeks, like,
That's a long time.
do you have a lot of, like, I need to get this done tomorrow? Like, nah, you might wait 6 weeks, right? Like, you'll get it done eventually, but you're just not that worried about it. Or you didn't hear about it, right?
Yeah.
You guys kind of see that? So these things are going to be kind of negative exponential, right? This guy's going to be the total number of cars that are fixed. This dude, the total number of cars that are fixed, right? So that's going to taper into 1,000,
That won't.
right? But the demand, right?
Mhm.
So this is saying you're fixing 250 cars in that 5 weeks, right?
The answer in the back, I was just like checking. Yeah, it says 50, and then semicolon 50 cars per week repaired on average.
Yep.
What is that?
It
Yeah,
just,
250 divided by 5
Oh,
is
okay,
50.
too simple, sorry.
Right, so they just simplified. So they have 50 cars a week on average get fixed. Cool? Questions? Okay.